team with a Baltimore, Don't get mad, it's just what it is. Yeah, we talking sports, shout out to Ingravenvids. Yeah, this feels like a dream, and you know just what I mean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, he's a fan, and he like the Ravens. And you know just what I mean. You too, team, keep it clean. You see my boy, he like gotta made it. Boy, that's my homie, ain't that right, Ingraven? Shout out to Ingraven.
Oh, and just like that, well, not really just like that, it was more like just like that, we're back. It feels like I haven't done a podcast in forever. I think that's probably because I haven't done a podcast in forever. But no, we're back. That's why I told y'all, man. I told y'all from jump. This is why I did not want to do it with anybody. Even though, like I said, man, that opportunity sounded great. Could have made some connections, blah blah blah. Cool. It could have promoted me even more, like the channel and stuff. But like, cause I just don't. I'm not a schedule person, man. And maybe that's a downfall of me, but that's just, I am not somebody who, not to say that I can't go by a schedule, but oh man, I'm more like, I guess I'm more free with it, man. That's what works best for me. Not being pinned down and tied down to a certain schedule for a lot of things. And that's just, it helps me out so much. It makes, I don't know, it just makes a lot of stuff that much more fun. It makes a lot of stuff that much more enjoyable. Now, even when, if I'm like collaborating with somebody, whether I'm going on their channel, they coming on mine, we going on their podcast or whatever it might be, I'll be like, man, so I gotta do it at this certain time. But again, you don't want to be selfish, and you got to think of other people's schedules as well, because they got a lot of stuff that they got to do, which I can completely understand. Now, NFL, on the other hand, they don't think about other people's schedules. With that 5 p.m. Monday Night Football game with the Chiefs and the Bills, ooh, I personally loved it. I loved it being at that time. I was like, oh wow, this is great. And if they ever gonna do double headers, if they're gonna continue that, and I know the schedule's a lot different with the pandemic and whatnot, but if they were to continue double headers, that's how it should be. Not the first game starting, because they do it every single season. They do it every year. First game, the first Monday Night Football game, it's always 2 of them on the first week of the season. So they always do one game that's starting like 8, then the next game starts at like 10 or 10:30, something like that. And I'm like, no, what? Come on, man. Like, don't nobody want to hear that, man. Don't nobody want that, man. So anyway, we're here, and we have got a lot to talk about. On the channel, we just reached 31,000 subscribers, so that was cool. Everything's just, it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a whole lot of fun. Things are they going pretty good. And I appreciate, just like I said, I always say it, that I really do appreciate so many of y'all supporting, because without support, like PBS be saying, from viewers like you, but no, it's true, without the support, then wouldn't be anything. The support is definitely motivational. It helps a lot. Just seeing a lot of positive comments. You see some negative ones too now, but the thing is that the positivity outweighs the negativity by far, and it's not even close. Because of course you're gonna have, with like there's 100 positive comments, you're gonna have probably like maybe like 2-3 negative ones, something like that. That's about how the ratio is. That's about how the ratio is. And I'm not saying that a negative comment is somebody disagreeing with something that I say. That's not a negative comment at all, because I appreciate that. I appreciate when people can disagree with something that I say. But what Team Keep It Clean, what they do it respectfully. They do it with me. They do it with each other. They say, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't agree with you. I don't agree I don't agree when you said that. But here's how I feel about it, and this is why I disagree." But then you got some people that come, very few. But then you got some people, "Oh, you're stupid. You're dumb. You're dumb. You big dummy." Something like that. So, anyway, it is what it is, man. But yeah, like the support is just, it's wild, man. Every time I just like really sit down and think about it, it's crazy to me. But y'all make everything that we do on here so much fun and make it that much more enjoyable. Just a little side note before we get into the football stuff. Carter, he's been in school and it has just been crazy. It's been crazy, and I know a lot of y'all got kids in school. Some of y'all kids may have went back to school. Some of y'all kids may be still at the house, staying home. And I know that with Carter, they did give us the option. They said, "Hey, do you want him to come back on campus, or do you want him to still stay home?" And I was like, "All right, we'll keep him home. We'll keep him home." And it has just been, it's been a mess, man. It has been crazy at his school, and I'm really grateful for our situation, because I work from home. My wife, she works from home as well. So we're able to be around Carter. We're able to give him that hands-on learning experience from us. But I really feel bad, because there's a lot of kids that can't get that. And it's no fault of their parents, because their parents gotta work. They gotta work. Because their kids need places to stay. Their kids need food. Their kids need a home. Their kids need clothes. They need everything. They have those necessities. So they're not able to just be home, because some jobs may have given you a little bit of time, like, okay, you can be home for a little bit. But now, especially here in Florida, man, like everything is, besides the mask, of course, everything is like pretty much back to normal. Besides the mask, I mein, if you go to the park, you'll see a few people with the mask on, but everything's pretty much back to normal, man. Everything is open. It's pretty much back to normal. You know how crazy Florida is, and like a lot of people say that, like, "Oh, I know Charlemagne on I was about to say on 103.5, but I know for everybody, depending on where you live, it's a different radio station. But for Charlemagne, I have not listened to the radio in a long time. Like, I haven't listened to morning radio in a long time. But he used to say all the craziest people come from Florida and from I think he said the Bronx. But it's true, Florida is crazy. But anyway, and I do sometimes I do miss that. I miss that part of going to work. Like when I worked the regular job, I used to, on the way to work, I used to listen to morning radio, and I used to look forward to hearing people talk more than like actually listening to music. When I thought about it, I thought, man, this is weird that I would rather hear people have these conversations about different things rather than hear music. But I guess with the conversations, with music, it can be fun, obviously, but it can be repetitive. Same songs on all the time, same people. Some good stuff, some garbage stuff, blah, blah, blah. But with people, with conversations, it can be the same way. It can be some of the same conversations all the time. Some good, some bad, some garbage, some great. But I just enjoyed the conversations a lot more than the music, except on Fridays. On Fridays, sometimes they would play like throwback stuff, and then I would hear like they like even down here. Sometimes on Friday, like they would play go-go. I was like, what? They playing go-go down here? I was like, wow, man. But those, like, usually every day. Again, I be telling y'all, like, it's the schedule thing. With the schedule thing, that's just me, and that's something in my personality I have got to work on, because that is I have struggled with that for a long time now. Like, at my old job, I used to be late to work like every day. Like every day. every day. For real. And just about. And if I did come early one day, then it felt weird. And then some of my coworkers, they would make fun of me, like, "Whoa, you're here early?" Say, hey, well. But yeah, man, every day, pretty much. But I gotta work on myself, man. We all, none of us are perfect, of course, and that's one of the things that I have definitely got to work on, is just being on time for stuff. Cause I'd be late for a lot of different stuff, man. But anyway, like even if we go into like a get together or something, my wife would be like, "Oh, well, if the get together starts at 7." I'm like, okay, well, I ain't gonna be no, especially if I don't want to go. That's a whole nother story. If I don't want to go, then I ain't gonna be in no rush to get there on time. But even if I do want to go, like if it's a get together, if it's like a bunch of people going, or like back in the normal days, but if there was a bunch of people going, then I would be like, we ain't gotta be there like right, like say for instance, they say, "Oh, come over at 7." I'm like, we ain't gotta be there right at 7. You can be there like 7:15, 7:30. 7:45. We ain't gotta be there right at 7. So that's just me. And then I did see this one meme that talked about if people show up to your get together, or if they show up to your house on time, then that means they got somewhere else to go. But anyway, and when I read that, I said, "Oh yeah, that's me all day." Because if I show up like on time, then that means I'm trying to be out. Anyway, back to Carter's school. Carter's school it's been crazy because, like I told y'all, they gave us the option for him to either return to school or just stay home, and we chose the option for him to continue doing the e-learning. So him staying home, him doing school from the house, which I appreciate. But it's like with the teachers, I just feel so bad for his teacher, because when all the kids were online, she was already stressed out as is, because she could teach the students. They were certainly learning, like Carter was learning, but it's like limited, because you got to look at them through a computer, they got to look at you from a computer, and these are like 5-year-olds, so their attention span, like adults' attention span, is super low, but these kids' attention span is even lower. So and you can't blame them, because they got a lot that they're thinking about. They got a lot that's on their mind. I mean, and their minds just going in 50 million different places, and I can relate to them, because my mind be doing the same thing. So it's tough. It's very tough for her as a teacher, and it's tough for the students. It's tough all around. So you gotta give it to her, man. God, really, just the teachers. Any teachers listening to this, please, we appreciate y'all so much, because y'all a real deal. But anyway, so I think about like 17, 18 kids end up going back to the school, to Carter's class, and it was like 5 kids that stayed home. So 4 other kids besides Carter. So now the teacher has to balance. She has to teach the kids that are in class and try to still incorporate the ones that are home online too. So it's like, ooh, that's tough. But this is why I say that I'm super grateful that me and my wife, we can still be here with Carter, because the kids that are home, they're not really getting that attention like that. She's trying, and she's getting better. But it's hard, because you got like 17 kids in the classroom that you got to watch. They're literally right there in front of you. They're right there in front of you. And then you got to watch them. You got to make sure they're doing all that social distance stuff. So they got to be separated from each other. They can't be like all up on each other. They got to have their distance. They got to have their space. And then like there will be times when, and again, these are 5-year-olds. So they're kids. They're little kids. So then it's like even today she had to yell at one kid, like, "Hey, no, get down. You cannot do that. That's not safe," because the kid was trying to climb on the desk. So it's a struggle. And then again, at the same time, you still got these kids that are online too. And then on top of that, what made me feel even worse for her is that another teacher who teaches kindergarten, she took a leave of absence. So this teacher that teaches kindergarten as well in the same school took a leave of absence. So now the teacher has even more kids. I don't think so. I don't think in person, but she has even more kids online that she has to attend to. So that's more kids online that she has to fit into her schedule. More kids that she has to have the curriculum for. More kids whose papers she has to look over. More kids that she's going to be responsible for. So that's tough. That is tough. Extremely tough. So, and it's hard, man. Like that is some hard work. I feel so bad for her, so bad. But yeah, I be telling my wife all the time, we got to get her something nice, man. We got to get her something nice. Whatever it is, I don't know what it's gonna be, but we got to get her something nice, man. Got to get her a gift just to let her know, like, hey, we appreciate you big time. Big time. So we gotta figure out what that is. Probably a bottle of something, man, cause I know she be going through it, man. I know Fridays, and you can tell on Fridays she put a little pep in her voice. She sound a little bit happier, cause she knows, like, oh man, this is when I get a break from these kids. I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all, man. I do not blame her, but that's life, man. That's what she signed up for, and it is a great job, though, man. Teachers is such a nice job because you're helping somebody. You're helping somebody become like themselves. It's your job as a teacher. Of course, you got to teach them the basics or whatever, reading, writing, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But then at the same time, well, those special teachers. Because not every teacher is special, but with those special, I can't say that, but the teachers that really put in that extra effort, they find what these kids are good at, and they take that and they roll with it. Because I don't like the cookie cutter approach where everything is the same, where you teach every kid the same, because every kid doesn't learn the same. Every person doesn't learn the same. Every kid doesn't learn the same. Every adult doesn't learn the same. We're not all the same. We look at things differently. We see things differently. We understand things differently. So when you can, and I know you can't necessarily, like, you got to have your curriculum. Because that's what you got to go by. You got to have your curriculum. You can't just, you can't teach every single kid in the class individually. Because then you wouldn't get anywhere. Because you would be spending all this time with each kid. But when you can, like, find little stuff here and there, and you can spend some one-on-one time with the kids, it makes a huge difference, man. Huge difference. So anyway, it's just a beautiful thing, man. One thing that's kind of funny, I just saw it on Twitter, man. I feel like because people have gotten, and I love it, because it's all y'all, it's all Team Keep It Clean, and I appreciate all the questions that we get, with questions from subscribers. You know, some people ask some wild stuff, and I appreciate it. I have no problem with it at all. Keep on asking all them wild questions, all them questions where it's like, hey, is this even reasonable? Does it even have a chance of happening? Even if it doesn't, keep on asking. I've seen a lot of people over time get angry with questions from subscribers. Not recently though, and I mean, we don't really care anyway, because again, we have fun on here. I know a lot of people will be so angry. I'm so mad at you. Why are you guys asking those questions? It's like chill out, relax, chill up. But anyway, with questions from, it's funny because I can't even say nothing like on Twitter without somebody thinking like, no, we're not getting, like today. Today is I'm recording this on October 20th. It's 3:28 p.m. Eastern time. So I had quote tweeted, because Mike Garofalo, he talked about how John Ross requested a trade from the Bengals, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But I quote tweeted and I said, and like John Ross with the Bengals, I'm out. That's all I said. I ain't say anything about Ravens. I ain't say anything about the Ravens should trade for him. I ain't say, is anybody from do y'all want him? Should the Ravens make a move? I ain't say none of that. I just said, and like John Ross with the Bengals, I'm out. That's all I said. Then one of my guys said, "No thanks, I don't want an injury-prone wide receiver." And I'm thinking, I didn't ask if anybody wanted him. I didn't ask if anybody wanted him. So, like, what? But with questions from some, and even in the video that we did talking about it, a lot of people were like, "No, Ravens don't need to make that move." And I'm thinking, hold up, I'm just talking about what happened. I ain't say nothing about Ravens. Nobody, well, I haven't seen my emails from today yet. I'm sure somebody probably asked it by now, but nobody so far from what I've seen has asked about John Ross. I'm sure that they will. They have before, but I'm sure that they will again with this news coming out. But it's just funny how people will they answer the question from subscriber before it's even a question from subscriber, and that's all y'all. I give y'all all the credit for that, and I love it. I appreciate it, and I love it straight up, man. So anyway, I guess that's a perfect segue into us getting ready to talk about all the stuff that's happening in football. But before we do that, let's just let's hear from our sponsor, which is actually ourselves. So anyway, we will be right back, and we are going to talk some NFL. Let's go. Alright, well, we're back now. So, just to jump straight into it, and I appreciate y'all listening, man. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it like crazy, man. It's so many different ways to support. I mean, you could check out the description section of this channel if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're listening on Anchor, there's some different ways to support on there as well. But y'all can check that out at your own discretion. But just again, by listening, sharing it out with people, letting other people know about it, that's the best way. So, in the football world, it's a lot going on right now, man. Whole lot going on right now. First off, let's start with the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. They have decided, you know what? It's Tua time. So they are going to be starting Tua Tagovailoa. That's probably one of the first times I have said his name the correct way. That felt great. It's kind of weird, but it felt great. So shout out to them. They are right now, I believe, 3-3. They're in second place in the AFC East behind the Bills. And now with the Patriots just lost to the Broncos. I'm sure Vegas had a field day with that one, because that is not one that I saw coming. But the Patriots are 2-3, so it's like, oh wow, that is something. But anyway, I questioned the move. I was like, oh, okay, you just beat the Jets 24-0. You shut them out, and the Jets are a really bad football team, but still, this move, like, it came. I don't think it came out of nowhere though. It had to be planned. It had to be something that they were thinking about for a while, and they just really wanted to get him on the field. They really wanted to. Not in the Jalen Hurts type of way, not in the like Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson type of way. But they know who Fitzpatrick is. They know what he can do. They know what he can't do. They know his limitations. They know just everything about him. He's been with the Dolphins for a while, been around the league for a long time, played with the Bills, the Jets, the Rams, the Texans. Who else did he play for? I know I'm missing somebody, but Fitz has been here for a while. He's been around, and I guess he played for the Bucks too. But the Dolphins are like, okay, and it was just weird too. That's how you know this thing was planned, because it's coming off of a win. It's coming off of a win while they're still in the thick of things with the AFC East. They decide, you know what, let's roll with the rookie, and we knew his time was going to come eventually. Everybody knew that. I mean, you drafted him at 5. His time is gonna come eventually, and sooner rather than later. But still, to still be in like, it's not like the Dolphins are losing. It's not like Fitzpatrick is just playing this just terrible football, is not winning football at all. He is still making some mistakes and whatnot, but they're winning. But I do, if they feel like they can improve, if they feel like Tua can make them even better, okay, hey, cool. Because winning covers up everything. Winning can cover up everything. But it's the real fans, the real coaches, that they can see through that. They can see through that. And they're still willing to point out mistakes, still willing to point out flaws, despite the teams winning. And we're going to talk about that a little bit with Ravens fans and soon, because there's been a lot of debate, arguments back and forth between a lot of people, a lot of Ravens fans, just because I know a lot of people, this is one thing that I think it's just so weird, because again, everybody thinks differently. Not everybody thinks the same, but some people try to tell other people how to be a fan. And I think that's so weird. Oh no, you're not a real fan if you did this. Well, you're not a real fan if you did that. No, everybody is entitled to be a fan how they want to be a fan. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. They can be a fan how they want to do it. But anyway, John Ross with the Bengals. That's another story, and make sure y'all check out the YouTube channel too. But with John Ross, they said he requested to be traded from the Bengals, and that didn't come as a shock or anything. I don't think anybody was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. No, they hardly use him, and he had got banged up a lot. It just hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out from start to finish. It just hasn't worked out, and the finish will be coming very soon. I think over the next week, and I think he's going to be traded for a fourth is the ceiling. I think the fourth is, and that's a high ceiling. I think he'll probably be traded for a fifth or lower. Fifth or lower. I honestly forgot what I said I think he'll be traded for in the video that we made, but I think it'll be a fifth or lower. There's just no way. I just do not see him being traded for, definitely not a first, definitely not a second. A third, no. A fourth is pushing it heavy. If you can get different teams bidding and you can come out with a fourth, you better take it. You better take it. Ain't nobody gonna give him a third. Nobody's gonna get the Bengals a third for John Ross. But yeah, he's just trying to get out of there. And a fresh start would probably be good for him. I mean, he tried to have a little fresh start. He ended up changing his number a couple of years ago. And I didn't even realize that. Because I think he used to be either 12 or 15, and now he's 11 or 12. I forgot what his number is. I forgot what it used to be. But he changed his number a couple years ago. But that didn't change anything with his status on the Bengals. So that's that. That's that. He is he trying to get on up out of there. No, Carlos Dunlap, Geno Atkins, they been a little frustrated. They done took off. It's always funny. It's it kind of reminds me like high school stuff, man. Because it's so funny, man. Because when players, when they get upset at their teams, they will take off. It's like a girlfriend and a boyfriend in high school. That's exactly what it is. Like a girlfriend and a boyfriend in high school. If, say for instance, they arguing with each other or something. If they arguing with each other, then they'll go to social media and they may take off any pictures that they got with each other. Oh, you know what? I'm mad at her. I'm mad at him, and they take off any pictures that they got on their Facebook, on their Instagram, whatever, of each other. And then they end up making up a couple hours later, and then all the pictures are back. So that's how it is with a lot of football players, and it's funny to see sometimes. Like, I'm looking at Michael Thomas from the Saints. I'm looking at his profile right now, and he still didn't. He took the Saints stuff off 2 weeks ago, and he still doesn't have it on there. So, and he actually hasn't even been tweeting anything. So I did hear from some Saints fans that they were like, "Oh no, he ain't going nowhere." Cause I was thinking, hey man, with when them fining him for conduct detrimental, I thought that was the beginning to the end. And I will not be convinced that Michael Thomas will remain on the Saints until it's after the bye week. If he's still on there after the bye week, that'll be when I'm actually convinced that he'll stay with them this year. But right now, I'm still not. I know things have gotten a little quiet with him, but that's because Saints on a bye week. They're on a bye week right now, so that's why, man. So that's that. There'd been talk about, nothing official, but they've been talk about. I saw a post talking about some reporters are thinking that maybe Matt Ryan and Julio could be traded. There it goes. NFL insiders openly wondering if Julio Jones, Matt Ryan will get traded. So that basically does not mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. It just says some NFL insiders are openly wondering. So people that, whether they got sources in the NFL or whatever, they reporters, whatever, they're thinking if Julio Jones and Matt Ryan will get traded. That's it. Doesn't mean that they will get traded. They could now. You know they could, especially Julio now. But and I mean, when the owner came out and said, like the owner came out, because their GM and head coach got fired. So the owner came out, when the Falcons owner came out and said, man, he said, I'm not committed to Matt Ryan. He ain't got to be my long-term quarterback. When he came out and said that, oof, man, that pretty much lets you know it's done. You're done there. You might as well put the house on the market. Oh, don't put it on the market yet, because it might end up selling pretty fast. And you don't even know where you're going yet. So don't put it on the market yet, but start talking to the realtor. And Matt Ryan, he got plenty of money, so whatever realtor he uses, I'm sure they're gonna act fast. But start talking to the realtor and get ready to sell the house, because you could be on up out of there real soon. Like real by the end of the season, whether you get shipped off somewhere else or you just get released, it's probably the over for Matt Ryan with the Falcons, and they probably getting ready to start from scratch now. Oh man, I am and I'm not saying this in no cocky, arrogant way or anything like that. I'm really not. Y'all know that though, but I am very just grateful to be a Ravens fan. Really happy being a Ravens fan. Because we have our things that we complain about. We have our things that we get frustrated about. We have our gripes with the front office on things that they do, things that they don't do, things that they've done. But at the end of the day, the Ravens have been a pretty successful franchise, especially in recent history too. They're always competitive. Like literally for the last 12 years, they've been competitive. They were, and then 2015 everybody got hurt, so that was pretty much a wash. But they were still being competitive and even in that year, they only lost two games. They only lost 2 games by more than 1 score. They only lost 2 games in that year by more than 1 score. Oh, that's crazy. But anyway, so they've been competitive for so long, and a lot of teams can't say that. A lot of teams can't say that. So, and I know it's been frustrating as a Raven fan. Oh, we make to the playoffs and then boom, they bomb. We win all these regular season games and we make it to the playoffs and oh, then nothing. And that's frustrating. And of course you want, and a lot of that's on coaching. I think most of it is on coaching. But anyway, a lot of teams, like their team don't even make it to the playoffs. So like you got all these fans that are just, they're like, man, like, what is going on? What are we doing? So you think like, and Ravens fans like that, and again, expectation levels, they vary amongst fan bases. And Ravens fans, we have very high expectations for the team based off of what they've done, especially in recent history. So that's why you see a lot of complaints. That's why you see, man, why the offense not running like that? Why the offense not clicking like that? What's going on with Ravens offense? Defense, why they not holding it down like that? Coaching, what kind of play call is that? What's that? What's going on? Why you keep blitzing everybody, Wink? But the expectation levels are so high because of their success. But then you look at other teams and their expectation levels are low because of a lack of success. So that makes me just really appreciate being a Ravens fan that much more. The way that they do things, the way that they handle their, even down to their social media. And their access as well, because we see, and I don't know if other teams do this as frequently, but we see a lot of pressers from the Ravens where they talk to the different players, and they don't have to broadcast those, they don't have to live stream those, but they do, and we appreciate it. We enjoy it, because you get to see Harbaugh and Lamar and just everybody, different coaches, different players, just all talk to the media, and we aren't media. We just fans. So they don't have to, like I said, they don't have to give us, and they don't give us access to every single one, but they give us access to a lot of them. The people that cover the Ravens, they're great. Of course, Jeff Zrebiec, amazing. Jamison Hensley, amazing. Sarah Ellison, who used to work for the Ravens, I think she was the creator of the Late for Work, of that that article, not the article, the what would you call that? The series or whatnot, the series on Ravens.com. She created that. Oh man, I remember when I had worked at my job before this, I used to read that. I used to read it every single day because it came out at about 9:30 every single day, Monday through Friday, of course. And I used to look forward to those so much. I love those Late for Works, man. I used to love those. Every day at work, I would be reading it every single day without fail. And then when I was done with it, I'd be like, oh man, like it's over. I'd be like kind of upset, like, man, come on, man. Man. So, anyway, but Ravens, they and like I said, with the complaints from fans, that's what I said. Different fans have been, oh well, what's wrong with you? If you complaining about the Ravens, you're not a real fan. You don't know anything. And it's like, when people get to saying all that stuff, it's like, really, come on now. Let people have their complaints. Let people have their gripes. Let people have their issues. I got mine with the team, and other people will have theirs. It doesn't make anybody any less of a fan. And I know a lot of people say Ravens fans are spoiled. And I agree with that. Ravens fans are spoiled. Well, I'm sure glad to be spoiled. Because that means the team has been successful. But, and I think it's not even so much being spoiled. It's just that since the team has been pretty successful, again, like I talked about, it's the expectation level. That's all it is. The expectation level is high. That's it. Expectation level is high. Like, imagine Patriots fans right now. These dudes done won about 58 Super Bowls in the past 3 years alone. So with them having won all those Super Bowls, they 2-3 right now. And I haven't spoken to many recently, but I'm sure I will speak to plenty more when the Ravens do play the Patriots in a couple of weeks. But they ain't really seen any tripping out. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. But they obviously are going through it a little bit right now. But they've had a lot more success, even recent success, than the Ravens had. But anyway, let's talk about, because Ravens are heading into a bye week, which I am glad for, man. I am glad for the Ravens heading into the bye. I'm glad, because that means I get a break too. So I am definitely happy about that. They came off the win against Philly last week. Oof, stressful game. You know what? At the end of the game, I was telling my boy Josh, I was like, I couldn't even get mad. I couldn't. Everything was breaking down. Everything was just, it was just falling apart, and I couldn't even get mad. I was just laughing. I was like, oh boy, wow, this is crazy. And I'm glad they did close it out. That was great. But I was just like, wow. So shout out to them for being able to finish the job. Got to finish better. Just got to be better overall. They got to do. They all got to get better. I don't really feel like getting into that right now, because I mean, y'all saw that on the channel. We talked about it like 50,000 times. And it's a lot of the conversations that we're having every week is just the same conversations, because it's like, it has been a little bit confusing on why Ravens do some of the stuff that they've been doing. Now the game against Philly was a little bit better, but I know penalties were just they just destroyed a lot of what happened with the Ravens. But anyway, I'm just going over the schedule from last week, because we didn't pick any of the games. I saw Tennessee, they took care of business against the Texans in overtime. That's when Derrick Henry, he ran for like 200 yards. The Colts, they came back against the Bengals. The Falcons, they got their first win against the Vikings. Vikings been doing pretty bad. The Patriots got upset by the Broncos. I didn't see that coming at all. I didn't even watch any of the game at all, so I don't know even how that went down. The Washington, they lost to the Giants. I think Giants got their first win of the season, I believe. Pittsburgh. Oh boy, I picked Cleveland to win that game by a last second field goal. Pittsburgh destroyed Cleveland, and like if you look at the score is 38-7. Ravens beat them 38-6. But if you look at the score alone, and you'll be like, oh man, Cleveland got whooped. But then if you actually watch the game, it is like Pittsburgh really destroyed them bad. They beat the mess out of Cleveland, like bad. Really, they abused them. It was like scary to see. And that looked like old school football right there. The way they were hitting Baker Mayfield, they were knocking everybody on Cleveland offense out. They were knocking them all out. Oof, it was rough. The Bears beat the Panthers. The Lions beat the Jaguars. The Dolphins, we talked about that earlier. They beat up on the Jets. And Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. I really thought that I was going to be a lot more interested in that game than I was, because I finished doing we finished doing the Ravens stream after the Ravens game, and that game was on, and I watched it for a tiny bit, maybe like a minute, or maybe like off and on. I think I ended up putting on Red Zone, because I was interested in it, but then I was like, maybe because I was getting a little footballed up. And that happens to me sometimes. Sometimes, like after the Ravens game, on say for if it's on a Sunday, for example, after the Ravens game, if it's not a game like I'm really looking forward to, then I would after watching the game and then after doing the stream for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, however long we go for, and after having like that's my like rest for the week, man, because these weeks they get really busy, man. They get really busy. Things are very busy, and I appreciate it. But things are very busy, and Sundays after like we do the stream for the Ravens game, it's like that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Deep breath. Because it's just a reminder that we got through the week, and here we go again. Here we go again. But that's why I am. Like, I know some fans, they like, man, it's bye week time, man. No Ravens football. Not me. I'm happy about it. No problem, man. Bring on the bye week. Bring it on. So I'm cool with it. And then the Rams at the 49ers. I watched the very end of that game. I watched some tiny bits and pieces of it, but I didn't really like watch till like the very end. And the Deebo Samuel, I remember he got that. They gave him the ball, and he got that first down to officially end the game. But that was cool. So now, then on Monday night, the two football games. Again, the one that was at 5 p.m. between the Chiefs and the Bills. I watched that one. That was a pretty good game. It got a little ugly. It was raining a lot. It started off a pretty defensive game, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, he just was running all over them Bills. And Chiefs ended up winning. Bills just couldn't do enough. And I know a lot of Ravens fans are like, hey, what? Josh Allen just had a really bad game. Ain't nobody gonna talk about how he fell off, right? But everybody talk about how Lamar fell off. Let's see, Josh Allen, he went 14 for 27. That ain't too bad. Oh, it was when he was like 8 for 20, something like that. I think, yeah, he was 8 for 20 at one point. And I know a lot of fans are like, hey, wait, nobody saying anything about him. And then the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. Cardinals just destroyed the Cowboys. And then it came out today that some Cowboys players were saying that the coaching staff don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to game plan. Blah, blah, blah. So take it how you want it. Anyway, week 7. Again, the Ravens on the bye. I ain't got no complaints about that at all. None. I am happy that they on a bye. And I mean, football-wise, even if I take myself out of it, football-wise, it comes at a perfect time for them. Because, yeah, it comes at a perfect time. They needed this. Get to regroup, refresh, rejuvenate. People can get healthier. Of course, they were missing Derek Wolfe. They're missing Brandon Williams. Well, he not through the health, though, but Mark Ingram, he's banged up. And, just everybody's banged up because it's the season. So you're not 100% healthy. I'm sure you got some aches and pains that you're dealing with and whatnot. So it's part of the game. But anyway, this week, Thursday Night Football is the Giants versus the Eagles. I'm going with Eagles in this one. The Eagles are a team. They could be getting Deshaun Jackson back, so that'll be good. But they got Fulgham Jr. They got Greg Ward, or is it Greg Ward Jr.? One of them two is a junior. But Eagles, for what they did and what they don't have right now, they've been putting up fights, man. So Eagles, I'm going Eagles in that one. Next up, the Lions versus the Falcons. Ooh, Falcons. They got a breath of fresh air last week with getting their first win. Well, not their first one. Was it their first? I think it was their first win against the Vikes last week. Yeah, they won in 5. So yeah, that was their first win. I say they go for their second. And they make Julio look like even a great trade option. Unless he's gone before then, he probably ain't going nowhere. The Browns at the Bengals. Oof, Browns coming off of that beatdown, and Cincinnati coming off of that. Just, they couldn't hold it together. Oh, ooh, wow, these two teams facing each other for the second time already. That was quick. I feel like they just played each other a couple weeks ago. Oh, I am gonna go. Wow. Oh man, I'm gonna go Cleveland. Now, this could obviously go either way, and it was a close game last time. And if the Bengals can get in Cleveland's head early, they can start hitting Baker Mayfield and just forcing some 3 and outs, stops on third down. Then they can do some stuff now. They can do some stuff. There's been a lot of questions with the coaching over there in Cincinnati from a lot of the fans. But if they can do that early on, they can beat it. But I'm gonna go with Cleveland in this one. Literally a toss-up. Don't really care who wins. It would be better for the Ravens if the Bengals won. But again, Ravens, they need to take care of their own business anyway. All right, next up, still AFC North. The Steelers versus the Titans. This is the one game out of all of these games that I do want to see this weekend. Steelers versus the Titans. This is going to be a good game. I am going Steelers. Would like the Titans to win, but I am going to go Steelers. I think Steelers are going to get this one, and that pass rush is going to get after Ryan Tannehill, who's been having a really good season. Derrick Henry, he ain't getting no 200 rushing yards on the Steelers. If he does, that'd be nice. Rooting for you. But I don't think he's going to at all. I'm going to go with Steelers in that one. It's Saints versus the Panthers. I'm going Saints. Jets versus the Bills. Going for Bills to avenge the 2 losses that they just took. I'm sure they'll try to take it out on the Jets big time. But hey, what if the Jets come out and they end up just whooping the Bills, or even just beating them, period? That would be something. Washington versus the Cowboys. Is Chase Young back? Did he play? Because I ain't heard his name in a long time. But I'm gonna go Washington in it. Andy Dalton will be in his second week starting. I'll go Cowboys. I think it'll be close though. But I'm gonna go Cowboys. Packers at Texans. I'm going Packers. Seattle at Arizona. I'll go Seattle though. But that, you know what? Ooh. I'm gonna go Cardinals with the upset. I'm going Cardinals. That's gonna be my upset pick of the week. It's gonna go Cardinals over Seattle. Next up, Chiefs at Broncos. And Chiefs handle business. San Francisco 49ers versus the Patriots. Blah, 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 blah. That should be a good game. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo coming home. Oh, but he left the crib. I feel like I'm gonna do any, mini, miny, mo almost. Patriots at the crib. Jimmy G. I go 49ers. Well, Bill Belichick, he knows Jimmy G, though. He wanted to keep Jimmy G. I'm gonna go 49ers. This should be a good one. Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I go Chargers. Justin Herbert is just amazing. I'm so glad that I got to see him play on Monday night. So glad that we all got to see that. And next up, the Bucks versus the Raiders. That should be a fun one. I will go Raiders. Every time I pick Raiders, they end up losing though. But I'm gonna go Raiders in that one. And then on Monday Night Football, it is the Rams versus the Bears. Rams versus the Bears. I go with Rams in that one. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams. Who did Rams just play? Now I forget who they played last week. They played... Oh yeah, 49ers. We were just talking about it. Yeah, but again, this is not a very I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, or at least me speaking as a Ravens fan, from my point of view, not a very exciting week of football, but perfect time to be on a bye week, take a break. So I'm not mad at that. Like I said, the game that I'm looking forward to this week is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Titans, and obviously going to keep our eye on the Browns and Bengals game. Other than that, I mean, yeah, like Seattle versus the Cardinals, that should be a good one. Like I said, going with Cardinals in the upset, and we'll see. We'll see how everything turns out with those teams in their games, because on the bye week it's the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Vikings as well. So along with the Ravens. So this should be fun. It should be fun. But yeah, y'all or those Ravens fans who listen, I know not everybody who listens is a Ravens fan, which is fine. But yeah, if you're a Ravens fan, take this bye week, enjoy yourself. Just appreciate vibing, chilling, relaxing, all that good stuff, man. Take that time off. Enjoy that time off. I am going to certainly enjoy that time off from the Ravens. But yeah, we still, of course, got plenty of questions from subscribers. As y'all already know, that don't stop. You're still going to have the videos and stuff, but this will be a much more relaxing week for me. But we still got plenty of work to do. And that's that. So, David Irving got signed by the Raiders too. For anybody that wanted to know that. No, most of y'all probably like, David who? What's Ingraven talking about, man? But yeah, David Irving got signed by the Raiders. So yeah. So shout out to football. Shout out football been doing good too. I know there was some questions and stuff, you know, with the different tests and all that, but that's done now. Everything looks like it is cleared up. We ain't got no positives right now, so that's good. I know with Brandon Williams there was a little bit of a scare earlier this week, or I guess last week, because it came out on Saturday. But they said he had came in contact with somebody that may have tested positive or whatnot, but he's good, so that's good. Anyway, team, keep it clean. Appreciate y'all. I'll try not to leave y'all hanging like that next time. My apologies for that, but yeah, like I said with the podcast, because we try to do at least one per week, but things just got crazy, man, and they probably gonna get crazier. So anyway, appreciate y'all, love y'all. Y'all.
Don't get mad, it's just what it is. Yeah, we talking sports, shout out to Ingravenvids. Yeah, this feels like a dream.